Hey, what's up everybody? It's the People's Crypto and I'm back again with another video. In this video, we're going to discuss a wide range of topics, but before we dive into it, please keep in mind that this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research and please seek out a financial advisor with a background in digital assets and or cryptocurrencies. All right, so let's jump right into it. The first story is a report: blockchain patents skyrocket in 2020. Alibaba owns the most crypto patents, and it goes on to say a study from the team at Keiser-Inspired shows that Alibaba Group is the largest blockchain patent holder in 2020, capturing 10x the number of patents held by IBM. The report notes that blockchain patents are skyrocketing this year, and so far in 2020, there's been more distributed ledger technology and cryptocurrency patents published than all of 2019. All right, so in case you're living under a rock and you're completely clueless, the cryptocurrency space is essentially, this whole new asset class is going to dwarf that of the Forex market and the stock market. It's a whole nother beast all in of itself. It's this whole new thing. So many people right now are trading stocks. Some people are still into commodities. They're into all of these other things. But to be in this industry now, if you pick the right coins, obviously, Bitcoin being the first coin, if you pick the right altcoins, you could potentially be setting yourself up to be extremely wealthy. Now, I'm talking generational wealth. As long as you don't go out and buy a Lambo or anything crazy of that nature, if you take the money you'll be making from picking these right assets, as long as you don't go crazy and suffer from SWS, which is sudden wealth syndrome, and that's basically anytime someone comes into a large sum of money all at once and they kind of go crazy and they buy things they don't need, it could be very overwhelming. But if you buy assets that appreciate in value, you'll probably never go broke in this lifetime. It sounds insane. It sounds crazy. But as long as you hodl the right altcoins and even Bitcoin, you'll be set up for life. Now, Alibaba and many other companies are getting into crypto. IBM being another one. I think Apple is also going to be diving into the cryptocurrency space sometime in the near future. They're probably already working on a number of patents. We already know that Microsoft is developing a patent where I think if you move around, you get paid in their native cryptocurrency token, which they applied for that patent quite some time ago and it got approved. So these things are going to keep happening, and you're going to notice that more and more companies are coming out either buying cryptocurrencies or they're investing in developing cryptocurrencies or using this blockchain tech. So the space is going to be growing, but they're not really talking about it in the media, so not so much. They're putting it in print media, they're putting it online, and they know that people don't read and do research. This is why you should always definitely do your own research and not take anything I say as investment advice. It's just my personal opinion. But with all of these major news stories coming out with Alibaba, IBM, Microsoft, and some other companies holding out on basically putting out this information, it's going to be extremely crazy when we have this bull run and the next couple bull runs. If you're in the space now, consider yourself extremely lucky. But things are just on the up and up from here on out. So be very grateful. So let's take a look at the next story. And this story is from Cointelegraph, and it is Indian state of Tamil Nadu announces blockchain infrastructure plan. It says the advantage of blockchain will prompt countries to adopt it sooner or later. The Indian state of Tamil Nadu unveils new technology projects, including a blockchain infrastructure to create easier government processes. Now, going back off of what I just previously said, I said companies. You're also going to have countries develop blockchain technology. They're going to be using these various applications and this software. This is going to make the tech bubble of the early 2000s look like absolutely nothing. And don't get me wrong, bubbles do occur. They're a natural thing. Well, not really natural, but we're going to have our bull run. It's going to go crazy and then it's going to collapse. But the prices of these assets are just going to go absolutely insane. They're saying we may get anywhere from a $50,000 Bitcoin, which that being the most conservative price, all the way up to something outrageous to $800,000 Bitcoin. Now, if Bitcoin goes up to any of those crazy prices, please expect that a lot of altcoins will follow in its trajectory. And if you pick the right altcoins and you've accumulated a lot of those altcoins, you'll be looking at life-changing or generational changing wealth. So please keep that in mind. If you're in this space, you're still employed, you're still able to buy Bitcoin and any other alternative cryptocurrencies that have a good use case, you could be setting yourself up for life, which would be insane. Like, this is more money than anyone's making right now in the stock market. It's numbers I can't even really put into words. That's how crazy it's going to be. And also you have the Federal Reserve that is devaluing the United States dollar. That is not good news for anyone who's holding cash in a bank account, or if anyone who's holding money in the stock market or any of those traditional finance tools or markets. So it's a really crazy time. So let's take a look at the next story. And this is 5 ways you can passively earn Bitcoin and any other cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to really dive too much into this story, but you have credit card cash back. You have staking and validating. This is where you have cryptocurrencies like Cardano, Cosmos, Tezos, even Polkadot. And there's some other ones as well where you can earn different types of cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin. If you want to earn Bitcoin, you can sign up for the Celsius network, and I will leave a link in the description. They got copy trading. You're just basically following what traditional and expert investors are doing with their trades. You can do that. There's this program for it. And then there's web browsing. I'll leave a link in the description for this as well. If you're living under a rock and you do not know, if you use the Brave browser, you can accumulate basic attention token, which you are rewarded for using the Brave browser. If I'm not mistaken, basic attention token is trading anywhere from 25 cents to 30 cents. I believe they pay you out in basic attention token. I think every month around, I think either the end of the month or the 15th. I'm getting this as well. I already have it, but I have to check my statements. But they usually pay you somewhere along the lines of the end of the month. Not bad. So these are different ways you can earn various cryptocurrencies. So please keep that in mind. I'll leave the link to this particular article in the description below. And let's take a look at the next article. Analyst says 1,500 Bitcoins lost every day. Less than 14 million coins will ever circulate. Now, if you go to CoinMarketCap or the cryptocurrencyspace.com or CoinGecko, what you'll notice is that the circulating supply of Bitcoin, they all say that it is around 18 million. We know that 21 million are in existence. However, there's a lot less Bitcoin. I think there's probably maybe 10 million Bitcoin circulating right now, or maybe a lot less than that. And you have to also keep in mind that the remaining Bitcoins have to be mined. And each 4 years, there's something called the halving event, which the supply of Bitcoin that is rewarded to miners get cut in half. And the next one is 2024. So this is only going to eventually drive the price of Bitcoin up further and further every halving. So I will tell you this right now. If you have not accumulated some Bitcoin, 1, 2, or 3, or if you even haven't gotten that much yet, or if you haven't accumulated 0.28 Bitcoin, you need to get on it immediately. I know there's other altcoins that have extreme growth potential, but you must keep in mind that Bitcoin is going to be the #1 coin for a very long time until someone comes out with something just as good, or if maybe better. So you just have to keep that in mind. If you haven't gotten one Bitcoin yet, I think getting one Bitcoin should be your main focus before you even consider getting into any other coins, in my opinion. If you want to do things the opposite way, that's perfectly fine. The easiest way to accumulate Bitcoin, as I've always said, has been to dollar cost average in. So DCA, if you haven't already, if you have the disposable income to buy an entire Bitcoin, by all means do that and accumulate as much as you can. But if you are not fortunate to do that, then dollar cost averaging may be the most ideal way to go about doing it. Or you could do what some traders do, and is they wait for a significant drop. They buy the dips. But if you're in this space for quite some time, that's kind of a little difficult thing to do. Catching those dips all the time is extremely hard. So that's why I will always recommend dollar cost averaging being the safest way to accumulate BTC. Let's take a look at the next story. It says new blood, 10% admit they joined crypto in the past 3 months. And this is fascinating because more and more people are getting into the cryptocurrency space. More people are accumulating Bitcoin. And usually the introduction is Bitcoin. Usually people get into that and then they learn about altcoins, and they also learn about shitcoins because they will get into other coins thinking that it's going to perform better, if not just as good as Bitcoin. That does happen occasionally, but most of the time the other altcoins, or in some cases the shitcoins, excuse my French, they usually do pretty bad. If you don't know how to do research and if you're not looking in the right places, then you can get crushed. So safe bet is to get into Bitcoin. And this story is basically just telling us that more people who are, at least I would say employed, at least, they're getting into the cryptocurrency space. They're buying Bitcoin. Some people are getting it, but it's still a small amount of people, unfortunately. Some people are probably going to get into Bitcoin when it's 100,000. And unfortunately, usually when they get in, when we're at all-time highs, we get a crash and then they feel as if they were robbed because they don't know about dollar cost averaging. They don't know about not buying at the top. So these things will happen and they'll continue to happen. But that is this story. And I will leave all of these stories in the link below in the description. Let's take a look at the next story. So this one says Max Keiser. If you don't know Max Keiser, he has a very good show on YouTube, and it's the Keiser Report. If you haven't watched it, please watch it. It's actually really, really good. He's a Bitcoin maximalist through and through. And this article says Max Keiser says Bitcoin will destroy all other cryptocurrencies. And I would have to disagree with that, because I feel if a cryptocurrency has a good specific use case and it's not trying to be digital gold like Bitcoin, then there is space for that particular crypto. Now, Max Keiser may not agree with what I'm saying, which is completely fine, but there's actually something very, very interesting that happened in 2014. And that is Max Keiser's inspired altcoin MaxCoin makes its debut, and that was in 2014, interestingly enough. So he actually tried to create his own altcoin, I guess, to rival that of Bitcoin. Yes and no. I think his coin was a cryptocurrency of financial. Yeah, it was a weird thing. It was just his own coin, but clearly he didn't have that belief back then. So I think he's aware that there's other cryptos with specific use case that will probably make it, but because his failed, he kind of has a, it's a bitter taste that his coin didn't make it, to 2020. So of course he's going to say that, Bitcoin is the only coin. If his couldn't make it, then no one else should make it. So I kind of get that, but in all seriousness, we have Ethereum and we have other cryptocurrencies that will potentially survive as long as it has a specific use case and it could be utilized by people and corporations. Then anything is possible. Anything is possible. Unfortunately, MaxCoin didn't pan out so well. So obviously he's going to say, yes, Bitcoin is the only coin and he's going to be a Bitcoin maximalist. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of people who just think Bitcoin is the only coin. I do believe that to a certain degree. However, I must admit that there are other coins that will make it and will probably make you extremely wealthy. However, there's over 6,000 different cryptocurrencies. So finding those particular cryptocurrencies like finding a needle in a haystack, and this requires a lot of research. You would have to go to those cryptocurrencies websites. You would have to look at the people in the projects, make sure that they're real people, check their LinkedIns. There's so many things you would have to do. Read the white paper if they have one, and they should have one, and make sure it's just not a pump and dump scheme, because there's so many of those coming out right now with this whole DeFi craze. So just be very mindful of that. And let's take a look at this story. And this story is actually pretty interesting. It says passive investors will go broke. And this basically touches on the traditional markets. And we know that we're due for a great reset if you've been following this channel, or any other channel for that matter that's talking about cryptos and finance. We're due for a great reset. The system is broken. A bunch of people are unemployed. The pension systems are failing the people. Many people are not going to get pensions. The whole system is gonna be a great crash. We don't know when, but something extremely bad is going to happen. Just the way things are being run right now, and cryptos are going to be that new bridge with the new finance that we're going into. But I'll just read some of this. It says, "Remember the saying, everything comes to those who wait. Investment gurus lectured us about patience and compounding. They blared save $100 a month, invest 6%, and you could be a millionaire when you retire. Current interest rates make that impossible. 25 years ago, if you bought U.S. Treasuries, the compound interest doubled your money in 12 years. Using today's interest rates, it takes well over a century. Now, nobody's going to be living over a century. Hopefully with the development of technology, that may be possible, but you probably need a ton of money to be that fortunate. And honestly, I don't know if anyone would really want to live well over a century. That would kind of be weird, but that's besides the point. But essentially, this article is going on to saying that bonds, U.S. Treasuries, all of these things, treasury notes, all of this stuff, what worked back then, it's not going to work in the future. The system is completely broken, and things are just going to get worse. Unfortunately, this public health crisis has made things a lot worse, and it's also exposed the system. Now, people who have been paying attention, who are not distracted, realize that yes, something is awfully wrong. This is why more people and even companies are getting into Bitcoin. People are buying silver. People are buying gold. People are looking for alternatives from the dollar, because having your money in the bank or even under your mattress now, it's not beneficial. The US dollar and other fiat currencies are losing its value at record pace. So the cost of living, your purchasing power, the cost of living is going to go up, and your purchasing power is going to go down. So brace yourself, people. This is a golden opportunity, a once and maybe a generational opportunity to get into a new asset class before the majority of the population has gotten into it. Remember, there's no crypto shows on TV right now. They're still talking about stocks and bonds and all of these other things. And you may hear about crypto or Bitcoin every once in a while being brought up in the media. They're not going to tell you about this because these major corporations and even some of these news people are buying Bitcoin and other crypto assets, but they'll never tell you that. So they're going to keep you out of the loop as much as possible, while the current financial system that we have, while it crashes and burns, unfortunately, this is going to be like the greatest wealth transfer ever if you're in this space. So if you're in cryptos and you're even buying gold and silver, please consider yourself, you're extremely lucky and blessed right now. Things are going to get a lot worse. I don't know if you're paying attention. I don't know if you're on social media or anything like that, but just take a look at how many people are on things like OnlyFans. There's a lot of people doing a lot of degrading things, unfortunately, because they need to make money. Now, that's going to get a lot worse. You're going to see more people doing more extreme things because their businesses failed. They can't feed their children. There's so much going on. They can't pay their mortgage, their rent, utilities, you name it. People will be doing more crazy things to make money. It's unfortunate, but that's what's going to happen. Please take a look at that article indicating how you can make passive income with, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but you should really be taking a look into that. I would completely disagree with Max Keiser in terms of Bitcoin is probably going to be the only coin. I don't believe that. There'll be other coins. It's just searching for those other coins is going to be extremely difficult. And if you put your money into any crazy cryptocurrency projects, unfortunately, some of them will fail. That has always happened since the inception of Bitcoin when other people have tried to do the same thing. But if you pick the right coins, you could be setting yourself up for generational wealth. But let's take a look at another story. And this is something I just mentioned. It says public pensions, a new inflation dilemma. It says caught between the Federal Reserve's new strategy for managing inflation and historical low bond yields, the plan now needs to take a fresh look at the actual assumptions and inflation protection. And this goes on to say that, inflation is basically going to destroy public pensions. I will leave a link in the description to this story, and it's just insane what's going on. Sports and everything is going back, not necessarily to the way it was before, but the distractions are coming back. You have the basketball, the playoffs are here. You have the NFL coming back. I think even college football is making its way back. I think boxing is going to make its way back into the picture, but the distractions are coming back, and they're going to try to distract people as much as possible. But like in a previous video, I said this is the fourth industrial revolution. We have cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, artificial intelligence. They don't necessarily need people anymore to work. And universal basic income is coming. And the negative thing about UBI is this. If you accept UBI from the government, you're going to lose completely all your freedoms. They basically, you're bought and paid for. And your freedoms, they're all coming to an end. So don't expect if you're getting UBI, you can do whatever you want and live like how you used to live. That whole idea of welfare, it's going to be turned upside down, and they will control you, and you won't be able to have the freedom you once had. You can't go on social media and say anything you want. They could just take away your money. They could freeze your account. They can do whatever they want. This is why they want the digital dollar and government-backed digital currencies. But if you're thinking that you're getting a pension maybe 10 years or 20 years from now, yeah, you may get it. But you may not be able to purchase the same amount of goods you were able to purchase today or even before because of this inflation dilemma. And let's take a look at the next story, which is U.S. billionaires. Wealth grows to $845 billion during the first 6 months of the pandemic. And this is insane. So these gentlemen, and I think there's even a chart down here, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Larry Ellison, Steve Ballmer, Larry Page, and the list goes on and on. All of these individuals have increased their wealth insanely. You would think that they were suffering from, this pandemic, but in reality, their businesses were allowed to continuously run. They were deemed essential, and other small businesses or other businesses that weren't deemed essential lost all revenue altogether, or they weren't able to operate at full capacity. So this just enabled all of these CEOs or wealthy individuals to take advantage of this shutdown or lockdown, whatever you want to call it, and it just increased their wealth hand over fist. And please believe that these people are definitely selling their stocks. They're not holding on to it. They know what's coming. I wouldn't be surprised if they're heavily into crypto. I know Microsoft has developed that cryptocurrency patent for movement. Elon Musk is developing something called Neuralink. Jeff Bezos he's doing something in the crypto space. I can't really recall what, but they're all involved. Don't be fooled. The media is not going to tell you any of this. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're holding a ton of Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrencies. Remember, the way crypto is now, and it's going to be moving private sooner or later, but these ledgers, you can't identify who owns what. You maybe could now if someone tells you what their address is, then you know, okay, this is their address, but no one knows what's on a lot of these no one knows who owns these crypto assets. It's just a bunch of numbers, and you can see how much Bitcoin is in these wallets. So there's no telling if they're in the crypto space or not, but I would not be surprised even if the price, let's say they're not in the crypto space, let's say the price goes up to something crazy, they have the disposable income to easily purchase Bitcoin or any other crypto assets. So don't be fooled, people. And then let's take a look at the last and final story. It says unemployment claims suddenly surged by 70,000 last week. It says I'm not going to say it, the public health pandemic is already costing many people their jobs. The first proof of that came in Thursday morning when a government report showed weekly jobless claims in the United States spiked to their highest level in 2.5 years. So, like I said, if you're in the space and you're still working and you're able to buy cryptocurrencies or any other digital assets, consider yourself blessed and extremely lucky, because it is going to get a lot worse. And as more people lose their jobs, the whole idea of universal basic income is going to eventually become a reality. And once you accept it, you're basically at the mercy of the government. You won't be able to have the freedoms that you once had. If you're buying Bitcoin or any other crypto asset, this gives you a hedge to protect your wealth, and it also allows you to create wealth. Now, if you pick specific cryptocurrencies that allow you to stake and earn more of that particular cryptocurrency, or even if you use something like the Celsius network, it allows you to get more Bitcoin, and it allows you to grow your wealth, so to speak. So remember, the Federal Reserve has already come out and said that they're not going to raise rates till I think 2023 or maybe even 2024. So leaving your money in the bank is not going to help you grow your wealth anymore. It's going to take, like it mentioned in that other article, over a century for you to make any type of profit. None of us, unfortunately, is going to have that much time to wait that out. And we're probably going to have a digital dollar implemented way before that. So please, please, please get into this space if you haven't gotten in it already. If you don't like cryptocurrencies, that's perfectly fine. That's understandable. You can still get gold and silver. They're not going to appreciate as much as Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency, but it will still somewhat shield you from the impending crash that's going to happen in the near future. So let's take a look at the cryptocurrency prices. We have Bitcoin at $10,861.95. We have Ethereum at $367.85. Tether doesn't move ever. It's $1. XRP is 25 cents. Polkadot is $4.58. Bitcoin Cash is $224.28. Binance Coin is $25.58. Chainlink is $9.65. Crypto.com is 16 cents. Litecoin is $46.70. Bitcoin SV is $153.66. Cardano is 8 cents. EOS is $2.66. USD coin is $1. Tron is 2 cents. Neo is $23. Tezos is $2.18. Monero is $91.73. Stellar is 7 cents. And Leo is $1.24. Surprisingly, Cosmos is 21 now with $4.59. It's in the 21 spot. Interesting. But that's going to do it for this video. I am now on Odyssey.com. I'm on library, and I'm on YouTube. If you're listening to any of those platforms, please like, share the video. And if you're on YouTube, please hit the notification button so you're aware of when I'm posting these videos. I think you can do that on Odyssey too. I have to double check. I'm going to leave the links to all of those platforms you can follow me on. And you can also follow me on Twitter as well. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you, and I'll see you guys and gals later.